Welcome to the PrinceOnyx Network. Good evening, peace and life family. What's going on here? It's your good guy here, PrinceOnyx, and I am back for another part of my little Megan Thee Stallion saga videos, if you will. Now again, a little disclaimer, this is in no way to defame or shame or throw shade or throw salt or basically insult the girl, insult the woman, because she doesn't need any more drama or any hate at all. This is simply viewing another situation that is happening in her life that's very unfortunate. And we're going to talk about Kelsey Nicole, her former BFF, who has released a diss track called Bussin' Back, where she's basically just laying it out there that it's like, Megan, you know who really shot you, which, okay, first off, first things first. We all know who shot her, Kelsey, and it wasn't you. Now, if you're alluding to... See, this is the thing. We still don't know what the argument in the car was about. Then on top of that, who's to say that when Tory pulled out the gun and rolled down the window, that Kelsey wasn't trying to, you know, fight him and be like, hey, don't shoot my friend. You know what I'm saying? We don't even know if that happened. But see, the thing is... Megan has been getting a lot of flack because Kelsey had also went to jail that night along with Tory. Meanwhile, she was, you know, hauled off in the ambulance to the hospital to get checked out because at first they were saying that she stepped on glass or got cut by glass when it was really bullet fragments that got her in her feet. So, you know, people were really beating her up about that because, oh, that's your best friend, this, that, and the third, which I agree that, yes, she should have said something. She should have. She definitely should have said something and spoke up and been like, hey, no, my homegirl didn't have nothing to do with this. But again, shit, who's to say that even if she did, the cops would have listened? Celebrity or not, if you black, child, trust me, they ain't trying to hear that, oh, my man wasn't trying to do this, my girl wasn't trying to do this, or my homeboy, my homegirl. They ain't trying to hear all that. Let's just be 2020, you know, 100% across the board, authentically crystalline clear, okay? Crystallized clear, okay? So, but still, it doesn't excuse the fact that your homegirl did go to jail. So there's that. For the night, or whatever the case is, for the weekend, for the night, it still doesn't excuse that, because that possibly could have screwed her over in the long run, unfortunately. But, you know, it's just, it's really a shame, because here's what I think happened. Because back when Quarantine Radio by Tory Lanez was popping, you saw everybody in the comment section, celebrities jumping on live, because we were all bored and cooped up in the house and didn't have nothing to do. Unless you were an essential worker, but still, you know, we were bored, didn't have nothing to do. So, Kelsey Nicole was in the comments, as Lovely T had pointed out. And I saw her video and I half agree, just kind of like kind of similar to Bondi Blue, I half agree with some of the stuff that she was saying, and I'll get to that in a second. Ooh, child, let me get some water. Let me get some water, child, because the tea is kind of piping hot. Okay. Anyway, so Kelsey Nicole was in the comments section, and a lot of people probably weren't really noticing that or picking up on that, but when you go back, people do see her comments in there. And then she started popping up over at Tory's house. So the rumor is that allegedly Tory and Kelsey actually had a thing going on first, and Megan was the side piece, and not the other way around, as Megan was saying on Shots Fired from her debut album Good News, where she was, you know, taking shots at Kelsey, saying that she was the side piece. But here's another little thing that I, being the conspiracy theorist that I am, here's what I'm thinking, y'all. And follow along with me. Tory Lanez really doesn't have that much confidence to begin with. I mean, the guy literally has a fake hairline, fake hairline, whatever the case is, whatever's going on. And he's not the most handsomest man that you ever did see. Let's just also add that in there. What's to say, and because of his height, because he's shorter than how men are typically supposed to be at whatever height, you know, but shit, rumor has, well, not rumor has it, but a lot of black men in Hollywood from like, well, a lot of men in general in the industry are, I want to say under 5'9", because see, I'm 5'9", so a lot of men are actually kind of like under that, maybe 5'8", 5'7", 5'6", even though some of my homeboys who I, you know, work with on my Confusion series, shameless plug, are about, you know, taller than me, 5'10", 5'11", a couple of 6 feet people here and there, you know what I'm saying? So, what if, and just again, follow along with me, what if Tory wanted to really get with Megan first? But he knew that if he approached her, she might turn him down. You never know. So especially with the energy that she gives, and she's a tall girl, and just her bravado and her energy, you know what I'm saying? It's like, whoa, he probably got intimidated by that. So, dun dun dun, plot twist. What if he decided, okay, her homegirl Kelsey, right? That's the girl who always with her best friend. Okay, so let me get with Kelsey first, right? Let me get with her first. Let me make her think, it's all lovey-dovey, all good in the hood, blah, 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 blah. Let me get with her, right? But really, the whole time, the ulterior motive is to get with Megan. So who's to say that Tory wasn't the main culprit of this whole situation, this whole entire scheme and plot that ended up, backfiring on him and firing, no pun intended, firing off on Megan, that then caused the friction between her and Kelsey. Because for them to have a falling out over him, I'm telling y'all now, he must have some good schlong. He must have the golden peen for them to have fallen out over him, because he's nobody to fall out over. I could see if this was Drake. I could see if this was Lil Baby, Lil Durk, whoever, like who's ever really popping and is actually, fucking way more attractive than a Tory Lanez. I'm just saying, I could see that. If this was somebody else who was, of a certain stature and more attractive. Just saying. So that's what I'm thinking, and I'm throwing that out there, that I believe that Tory was using Kelsey to get to Meg, and then when they found out that both of them were smashing him because he was apparently checking out Kylie or flirting with her, and they both looked at each other and they gave each other that look of, you too? Like, you too, girl? But I thought that, and then that transpired into the whole situation of the argument. So, my thing is with Kelsey, she clearly knows Megan more than anybody. So she's alleging that, if you keep on messing with me, keep harassing me, the cyberbullying, this, that, and the third, I'm going to, expose you, reveal things about you that you don't want out there, yada, yada, yada. Which, if Megan was smart, which I believe she is a smart girl because of the way that she's moving, she'll already do that. Screw it. How about this? The next album, be more vulnerable. That is my challenge to Megan. Be more vulnerable on the next album. Because a lot of people were saying that they wish they had more vulnerability from her on this, especially being her debut album. But on the next album, be more vulnerable and talk about everything. Like, it's everything that you've been holding on to since, since unfortunately losing both your mother and grandmother in the same month. How it's been, not growing up with growing up without your father, being in your life once he passed away, unfortunately, and because he was in jail when she was younger, and I forgot what happened with him after that exactly, but talk about that, being out in this world and in this business without your family, you know what I'm saying? Because as Bondi Blue was pointing out, Megan has to be a shrewd businesswoman, just like Cardi has to be a shrewd businesswoman because of the type of industry that they're in. The lack of trust and paranoia, if you will, it comes with the territory. And that's unfortunate. Even I find myself being paranoid of people from my own team and find myself not trusting everybody, because you can stick your neck out for people's butt so many times. Eventually you get tired of getting your head chopped off, okay? Eventually you get tired of getting your head knocked off or getting hit or struck or whatever the case is, because you sticking your neck out for these people. And while Kelsey is like, oh, you only wanted to mess with me because I was a hustler and I stopped what I was doing because I wanted to support you. Sis, no one ever told you to stop your hustle. Whatever you was doing before you met Megan, and even after you met Megan and during y'all friendship, you should have still been doing. If you was out here selling hair, or you had a makeup line in the works, or clothes, or whatever you was doing, hustling, getting your money, you should have still been doing that. And I'm not even trying to harp on her, because she's a victim in this too. You know what I'm saying? She's a victim in this too. And I wish that they would take it offline. Take this stuff offline. We don't need to see this in front of us. It's already bad enough, the situation, because you still have people thinking that Megan grabbed the gun and shot herself, or that she's lying and that she didn't really get shot because, oh, this is how a bullet really goes through a foot, and this, that, and the third. And you have Tory trolling her, which, ooh, Jesus, which, let's go ahead and dive into that. Now, if it was, as Kelsey is alleging, that she was the main chick, Megan was the side piece, then wouldn't Tory on his album be talking to you, Kelsey, and not Megan, begging for her to forgive him, even though granted she's the one who he shot? Wouldn't he be talking about how it's screwed up, he came between two friends and, you know, brought y'all relationship, y'all friendship to an end and blah, 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 blah. See, I tried to spit a little something for y'all. But anyway, wouldn't he have talked about you and brought your name up? So that's another thing that's kind of like, okay, now it's really not making sense, sis, because your older sister was also alleging that Megan was a side piece and you were the main chick. But again, Tory was talking to Megan on the album. Again, he's the one who shot her, of course. Be that as it may. But let's subtract that from the table for just a second and think logically. If I'm with you, Kelsey, let me pretend like I'm Tory. If I'm with you and Megan, your homegirl Megan was a side piece on this album that I put out that nobody was asking for, wouldn't I have been talking to you and begging for you to take me back and begging for you to have for you and your homegirl to forgive me for what I did to your homegirl that could have almost ruined her life had those bullets would have hit some bones and tendons and you know what I'm saying, because she's getting into doing more choreography now, so can you imagine that would have really messed her up. So yeah, it's just a lot of stuff that at this point I am waiting for the court cases, the court to handle this, because the court of public opinion is just as shitty as some of y'all assholes, but that's a whole nother conversation for never. Anyway, it's your good guy here, PrinceOnyx. I am signing off. Please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think about this whole entire crazy scenario, and yeah, let's have some deep discussion about this, because I'm adding just another couple of points of what I'm thinking looking at the situation, looking outside in. So let me know what you guys think, and that is that on that. Peace, family.